Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to another edition of 10 Unedited Minutes with Marlena. It is Wednesday, June 17th, and yes, we are recording a little bit later in the afternoon today. I had to get up and go to church this morning, and then I am a Eucharistic minister, so I take I take the Eucharist out to those who cannot do it. So I had to do that first and then come back here and record my podcast. So here we are. Today's podcast is sponsored by my dear friend, Rebecca Conklin Kleibomer. And if you tuned in yesterday, you heard that I am going to do 60 Days of Rebecca. And she was so gracious to sponsor 2 months worth of my podcasts. And she said, talk about me all you want. So we are going to spend a little bit of time at the beginning of each podcast just loving on Rebecca and maybe reminiscing a little bit. And today I am so excited to tell you this story. This has got to be our all-time favorite memory. And when we want to laugh together, we bring this up. So as you know, her and I used to work together, and we would go to lunch a lot. And Golden Corral seemed to be our go-to place when we didn't know where to go because it had everything, right? So we are sitting in Golden Corral, and we are finishing up our lunch, and the waitress comes by, and she said to Rebecca, "Do you need more Diet Coke?" And Rebecca heard, "You need to go on a diet." And the look, I don't think Rebecca and I have ever read each other's face so well as we did in that moment, because the look on her face, and I instinctively went, "Rebecca, she said Diet Coke, Diet Coke. She said Diet Coke." And Rebecca goes, "Oh, yes, I would like more Diet Coke." That waitress walked away and she goes, "I think you just saved her life, Marlena." I'm sorry, but that is the funniest memory we have of each other. So every time we see Diet Coke, it's always, "Diet Coke. She said Diet Coke." Anyway, oh, Rebecca, I love you. I love all the memories we have together, and I'm just excited to share these with everyone. And don't worry, I'm only going to do fun, exciting, and inspirational memories. So, which is pretty much all we have, right? So anyway, yesterday, we'll keep talking about the priest because it seems to be the only thing on my mind lately. So as I've alluded to in the past, I have a part-time gig where I cook dinner for 3 priests. And Monday through Friday, I go and cook them dinner. And last night, I was so excited because Father John told me that I had to cook for 7 people. And I love cooking for a crowd, right? So when there's guests, I get excited. And I knew who it was going to be because it's typically the same group of priests that visit. And it's a group of priests that come up from Mexico. And they minister to our Hispanic population in our area. So there's one priest from Mexico that can fluently speak English. The others have broken English, but they're not fluent in it. So Father Patrick is fluent in English, and I adore him. He is so sweet, so nice, and he always has the biggest smile on his face. We have good conversations. And last night he walked into the kitchen and he saw it was me and he got so excited. And then he saw what I was making for dinner. And the night before, when Father John told me that it was going to be 7 people, he suggested I make lasagna again. And I think he did that because he knows how much they like my lasagna. So when Father Patrick walked in to the kitchen yesterday, he was so excited when he saw that I was making lasagna. And it was just really cool to see the excitement on his face. But I told him Monday night I made chicken fajitas for the priest. And I told Father Patrick, I said, last night I made chicken fajitas. I thought maybe I should have saved that meal for you. And he says, no. I don't want Mexican food when I come up here. I want American food. And I said, well, this is Italian. He said, it's still my favorite. So I love it. Food is my love language. This is not a job to me. It's a ministry. And I just can't express how much I just enjoy doing this for the priest. And I have grown quite attached to them. I care for them deeply, and all three of them are leaving in about 2 weeks. And I went to Mass on Sunday and got a little teary. No, I didn't go to Mass this weekend because I went camping. Anyway, I listened to the Mass on YouTube because they stream it. And it was, the bishop came down and had a farewell Mass and reception for the Redemptor's priest. And to listen to the bishop's sermon, and then at the end of the Mass, I'm sorry, Father, if you're listening to this, but I cannot remember this priest's name or his title, but he is the leader of the Redemptorist. So he got up and he spoke a little bit at the end of Mass, and I cried. And then today I went to Mass, and Father's sermon was about, he integrated this transition of his life into his sermon today, and spent a little time saying goodbye, and I cried again. And I said, I just need to quit wearing eye makeup or get some waterproof mascara, because it's all gone by the end of Mass, and I think the tears are only going to get thicker as the weeks go on, because I care very deeply for these priests and don't want to see them go. But that's the name of the game. When you are a priest and you are a missionary, you are never in one spot for long. And in the Catholic faith, priests really only stay at a parish. They start out staying for 6 years, at least that's how it is around here. They can be renewed for another 6 years, so 12 years total, and then they pretty much have to move on to a new parish. So this happened one other time in my life when we went to Our Lady of Lourdes in Ada, and Father Dave was the priest, and him and I are the same age, and Father Dave was very instrumental in a lot of things in my life. He got us through the passing of my sister. He helped my husband and I get through Sean's major leg injury, and did a lot of counseling with us, spent a lot of time with us. He friended Sean, at a time when that's really what Sean needed, and that's when he was recovering from his injury. And he too was a really, really great friend. He was more than a priest to us, he was a friend. And when he left, that was pretty sad. And I feel like the same emotions are going to creep up here in the next couple weeks when the three fathers leave. Father John, and Father Mike. So it's all a grieving process, right? And it's not like they're going out of touch, right? So we could still be in contact. It's just they're not going to be in my life daily, and that makes me a little sad. But anyway, so yeah, so I guess that was the whole point of my story. I don't know, I'm just rambling today, I guess, but I had a good time ministering to our homebound, taking them communion today, and it just reaffirmed the importance of visiting those who can't get out, and how much of a blessing it is to be able to do that, and to visit people, and to put a smile on their face. And I love it. So if you want to feel good, do something good for somebody else, right? make somebody else smile. That's how you smile. Okay? All right, so that's it for today. Once again, Rebecca, thank you for sponsoring my podcast. Tune in tomorrow for another reminiscing moment with Rebecca. I'm excited. I have a whole list of them, girl. A whole list. So they're all pretty fun, pretty funny, pretty positive. So yeah, I love you. Pray for me. I always pray for you. And we'll see you tomorrow. Bye.